Okay, so this is number 3. Implement a stack using 2Q and Q1. 2Q, Q1, and Q2. So class stack. Gonna do Q T Q1 T Q2, and in this constructor I'm going to initialize new Q T Q2 new Q T. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep track of which one is the, so I'm going to have one queue that stores all the elements, and I'm going to store one queue that only stores the last element, so that when I'm popping, I can only pop the one that is, so for the queue that has one element, so that one's only gonna have the last element. So every time I pop that queue from the other queue, I'm gonna move it and the row of those queues will switch. So I'm gonna do I'm also going to have one extra pointer that points to a queue. Actually, so this is not actual queue. This is not extra queue. It's just going to be a pointer. So last queue and other. So first I'm going to set last queue Q1, other as Q2. So I have total of four pointers pointing at two queues. So when I do public add, public void add, T elm, I'm going to do if I'm going to add last queue dot add elm. If last queue dot count is not 1, so while I'm going to do while that's 1, other dot enqueue or add elm, no, last queue dot remove. So I'm moving whatever's in the last queue into the other queue. So the last queue will only store its own element. Okay. So public remove. Actually, that should have been pop. And no, push. And I'm going to do public T pop So that's going to be, so I'm gonna, so in the end, I'm going to return the last element, but then I have to do something after I pop it from it. So like, T, elm is last Q dot remove. Yeah, so now at that point, so I have an elm that points to the last element, so it's not lost, but then last Q doesn't have that element anymore. So at that point, last Q is empty. So I'm going to while other dot count is 1, last Q dot NQ actually other, yeah, wait, last Q dot NQ other dot remove. So every element that were in other is going into last Q, right? And then at that point, other became my last Q, and last Q became my other Q. So I'm going to have a so I'm going to swap them by having a temporary Q T temp is equal to other is equal to last Q, and last Q is equal to other, temp. So if I've swapped them successfully, and then I return the element, and that will be it.